Today is the 21st of August, coming up on a double-digit day tomorrow, the 22nd. The temperature is supposed to drop tonight, and whenever the temperature drops, it has been, I don't know, recently like around 18 degrees, I've been told. I don't know because I don't look at the thermometer. I didn't watch the weather report because I know it's all a lie, so I do not look at this vortex here. Vortices in the sky. I try not to avail myself of lies. Of course, living in Mystery of Babylon consists only of lies, and so we're submerged in lies anyway. But the weather is not weather anymore, so why look at the weather report? Take a look at this white falling down. I'm being gassed. For some reason, I don't know why, I had Bobby Darin videos on my YouTube feed recently. Bobby Darin was a singer and also an actor and somewhat of a comedian. He could do very good impersonations, I should say. In the late 50s, all of the 60s and early 70s, until he died of complications of heart surgery on December 20th, 1973, which is, if you do the gematria, 322, which is skull and bones. You know, the thing about Mystery of Babylon is you don't know what's real and what's scripted. Most everything is scripted, so maybe his death was even scripted and he's still living and continuing on as a different character. God knows. I do not know. All I know is that when I was 9 years old, he died, and we wanted to watch a show on TV, and they came on and said it had been canceled because Bobby Darin had suffered a heart attack. And now, of course, in the interim, you read all these stories about how when he was young, he had rheumatic fever, and they only gave him he wasn't supposed to live until he was 16. And so he wanted to do everything quickly. And he wanted to become a legend by the time he was 25. This is, I think, all hearsay. I don't believe any of it. You know, people just elaborate, and many people lie. I would say most people do, even his friends and family. I believe the whole thing is a deception about his death. I believe they murdered him. I believe he was a sacrifice for Satan. I don't know if he was a Satanist. Probably he was. Probably he did have to sell his soul. I'm not sure. But, I'd love to give him the benefit of the doubt. To me, his story reminds me so much of Mozart's. You know, after the fact, nobody knows what he died of. There's many different stories. Where's the body? We don't know. Where's the grave? Nobody seems to know. And in the case of Bobby Darin, they said, well, he donated his body to science. How convenient is that? Maybe it's true, but I wonder. I really, really, really wonder. But a lot of memories came back when I was watching Bobby on the Flip Wilson show, on the Sonny and Cher show, with Dusty Springfield, with Judy Collins, which, by the way, was not one of her best performances at all. And recently, that is to say today, I finished watching a picture called Pressure Point with Sidney Portier. And I have to tell you, I was just floored watching that movie, because it's a complete inversion of reality. I will link it case anybody's interested in watching it. It does get kind of long-winded. It's very, very hard to believe. The very interesting thing is that Darin, who is the bad guy in the film, he says some very, very true things. For example, when the Jews put Roosevelt in office, and Sidney Portier at the end says that he wanted to remake Bobby Darin. And you see, that's what these movies are all about. They're all about remaking you. In fact, they don't even have to remake people, because people are taught wrong from the get-go. And these so-called movies and pictures and films are simply just further nails driven in to the coffin of ignorance. And they're sealing it up for you. In a nutshell, Bobby Darin represents white Christian America, and of course Sidney Portier is the black man. And then of course you have the Jews as the victim. The Jew is always the victim. And what happens is that this white Christian young man who says that the Jews are very dangerous because they act like white people. You see, a Jew is not a white person. A Jew is not Jacob. A Jew is Edom, and Edom is red. Red is, of course, the symbolic color of communism, which is Satanism, a melting pot. Everyone is the same. Total destruction with no resurrection. But unfortunately, they have Darin as a Nazi. Now, a Nazi is a derogatory term for someone who hates Messiah, someone who hates Jesus Christ, the Messiah. I like to call him Messiah because I don't really know what his name is. And Nazis hate Messiah. Nazi was the Nazarene. You see how they get Nazi out of Nazarene? And Hitler was a Jew. And the war was a Jewish war, an Edomite war on Jacob. And of course it did start here in Germany. I've always been one to think of Germany as the tribe of Dan, but there is a big element here of Edom. And the thing is, if people would just call a spade and call the Jews what they really are, which is Edomites, and white Christian America, which is Jacob, then people's understanding would fall into place, I think. But because we have this abomination of conflation that the Jews are Israel and Judah, but Israel has been disappeared, and on it goes. People are confused. And then you watch a film like this, and then, you know, you're hopeless. You're hopeless because you're completely lost. You think you know something because you watch this film and you've been told that white Christian Americans need to be remade. Yeah, remade in the image of Edom. You see, it all goes back to the birthright, which Esau sold to Jacob, and Jacob also got the blessing. So, and Esau hates Jacob for this reason. He still hates him. Esau lives his life by the sword, and he's still interested in decimating as many of the children as Jacob as he can without them even knowing it. You see, that's the beauty of the thing for the so-called Jews. That Jacob has no idea who he is. I shouldn't really say that because there are people who know. I don't happen to know anybody personally who does. I've got someone in my family who believes that the Jews are the chosen people, and I believe that he could even be a closet Edomite. I'm not sure. I know that he hates me and my brother and my mom, And of course, we are not Edomites. So anyway, if you're interested, watch this movie. It's, I don't know if to me, the only redeeming thing about it was knowing and understanding that it was a complete inversion of reality. But when I look at the comments, I see people say, well, I hope that history won't be repeated, and we've got to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself, etc. And these people have no idea. They've seen themselves as the bad guy, you see. But it all goes back to Genesis 9:27. Japeth is dwelling in the tents of Shem, and Canaan is his servant. Who is Japeth in this movie? Who is Canaan? And who is Shem?